Tonight, on Remote Cabin Radio, we take you deep into the heart of Klickitat County, Washington, where a secluded ranch became the epicenter of a nearly decade-long mystery. Imagine living in isolation, surrounded by miles of dense wilderness, only to find your peaceful existence shattered by the unsettling presence of beings that defy explanation. Eyes in the darkness, strange whistles, and gifts left by unknown visitors. What happened on this remote ranch is more than just a story. It's a chilling reality that one family lived through. Join us as we unravel the eerie encounters that turned their lives upside down and left seasoned investigators convinced of the unimaginable. In the dense, remote wilderness of Klickitat County, Washington, a tale of unease and mystery quietly unfolded over nearly a decade. This narrative, meticulously recorded by retired Los Angeles County Sheriff Ken Coon, stands as one of the most compelling and eerie accounts he has ever documented. One filled with witness testimonies and bizarre occurrences that defy conventional understanding. The unsettling events began in 1970 on a secluded ranch several miles from Colville, Washington. Isolated from their nearest neighbor by over a mile, the family residing on this ranch was composed of a mother and her children, all teenagers or younger. With no adult male presence, they faced the unknown together, their part Native American heritage perhaps offering them a certain level of acceptance of the strange and inexplicable. It was at dusk, during one of those quiet, peaceful evenings, when the tranquility of their life was shattered. The children, wide-eyed with terror, burst into the house, their voices trembling as they spoke of a bear in the backyard. The eldest son, a teenager with a protective instinct, grabbed a .22 caliber rifle and dashed outside, his heart pounding in his chest. But what he encountered was far from any bear. It was something far more unnerving, something that should not have existed in the world as they knew it. He fired a single shot, but the figure, towering and dark, vanished into the falling night before their mother could reach them to calm the panic. As night fell, the mother, determined and unafraid, stepped out into the yard. Her eyes scanned the darkness, and there, reflecting from the hillside above their home, she saw 3 sets of enormous yellow-green eyes staring back at her. These were not the eyes of a bear or any creature she had ever known. They were otherworldly, their presence unsettling and inexplicable. These eyes would return, time and time again, haunting the family through the late summer and early fall of each year. The source of these eerie visits soon became apparent. A fresh water spring in the backyard, the only year-round source of water in the area, drew the attention of these nocturnal visitors. The family's livestock, sensing the presence of something unnatural, reacted with terror. The horses, usually calm and steady, injured themselves in their desperate attempts to reach the safety of their corral. The 2 Doberman dogs, known for their courage and loyalty, nearly strangled themselves in their frenzied efforts to escape the unseen terror that stalked the night. But as time passed, the reactions of the animals began to shift. The horses, once terrified, grew accustomed to the presence of the mysterious beings, and even the dogs, though still wary, no longer exhibited the same frantic fear. It was as though an unspoken truce had been reached, a silent understanding between the animals and the unknown visitors. The family, too, began to accept the strange occurrences, though a sense of unease lingered with every encounter. The mother, her curiosity piqued, began to interact with the beings in subtle ways. On some nights, she would step outside into the cool, still air and whistle into the darkness, Sometimes, the beings would respond with a whistle of their own, a sound that echoed eerily through the night. If she approached the source of the sound, it would move away, retreating into the shadows. If she stepped back, the sound would follow, drawing closer, as if engaging in a strange, silent game. These beings, whatever they were, seemed to possess an intelligence that was both intriguing and unsettling. They mimicked the sounds of birds, animals, and even the family's pigs, chattering and calling in the night. Once, the mother heard a whining sound, though she never experienced the high-pitched scream or growling reported by others who had encountered such creatures. Despite their intimidating presence, these beings appeared to harbor no ill will toward the family, a fact that brought both comfort and unease. On occasion, the mother would catch a faint whiff of a strong sulfur odor, a scent that lingered briefly before fading into the night. But more often than not, there was no smell at all, only the silent presence of the visitors. The mother believed the beings had a sense of humor, as they would sometimes play tricks on the family, loud thumps on the side of the house, followed by the sound of heavy, running feet, as if the beings were toying with them. Other times, there would be scratching on the window screens, or the unmistakable sound of something large moving just outside their home. On one particularly chilling night, a large, black face appeared at a window, peering in with eyes that seemed to see into the very soul. The being was so tall, it had to lean over to look inside, its face a haunting reminder of their nocturnal visitors. In an effort to make peace with the beings, the family began leaving out food, hoping to appease their mysterious guests. But no matter what they offered, fruit, meat, or other provisions, the food was never taken. Yet the beings left gifts of their own. The mother found seed pods, neatly opened and arranged in specific patterns, left on the porch as if to communicate. Firewood was also carefully arranged in a similar manner, silent gestures that spoke of an intelligence beyond that of any ordinary animal. Then, in the late summer of 1974, the most remarkable event occurred. It was 4 a.m. when the mother awoke and looked out into the backyard, now illuminated by a light she had installed. There, near the spring, she saw two of the beings leaning against the bank, their black, shiny, almost oily forms clearly visible in the dim light. As they moved, they turned their entire bodies, their faces more human than she had ever imagined. They appeared to be conversing, though she could not hear their words. Their mannerisms were strikingly human-like, a detail that sent a shiver down her spine. But at the sound of the toilet flushing inside the house, the beings quickly disappeared into the night, leaving only the memory of their presence behind. The encounters continued until 1977, when the family finally moved away, leaving the mystery of their visitors behind. In one final encounter, the younger son spotted one of the beings while riding horseback in the late afternoon. The creature stood in a grove of trees, watching him intently, but making no move to approach. It followed him at a distance as he rode home, its intentions unclear, its presence a final unsettling reminder of the beings that had shared their lives for so many years. Coon, a seasoned detective and retired sheriff, spent 5 hours interviewing the family. Throughout the conversation, he was struck by their sincerity, their straightforward manner, and the consistency of their stories. There were no sideways glances, no whispered conversations, no attempts to outdo one another with tales of the strange visitors. They spoke simply and honestly, recounting what they believed to be true. Coon, a man not easily swayed by tall tales or exaggerations, left the interview convinced. The beings that visited this remote ranch were real, and their presence had left an indelible mark on the lives of those who encountered them. This is not just a story of strange visitors and mysterious happenings. It is a story of a family living on the edge of the unknown, caught in a web of encounters with beings that defy explanation. And though the family has since moved on, the mystery remains. A haunting reminder of the strange and unexplained that lurks just beyond the edges of our understanding. And so, as the shadows lengthen and the night deepens, we leave you with the haunting tale of a family forever touched by the unknown in the remote reaches of Klickitat County. What began as strange eyes in the night grew into an enduring enigma, an encounter with beings that defied logic yet demanded acceptance. For nearly a decade, this family lived on the edge of the unexplained, their experiences leaving an indelible mark on their lives. As they moved on, the mystery remained, lurking in the quiet corners of the wilderness, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to venture into the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the eerie and unexplained. This is Remote Cabin Radio, where the stories are real, the mysteries are vast, and the night is never truly silent. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and remember, the unknown is always closer than you think.